everybody, it's Janae Canis. Welcome back to Lectin Free Solutions. Today I have got a delicious recipe for you. I woke up this morning and my husband said, "What would you like to do? It's your birthday." And I said, "Well, I really would like to make a video. I want to share this new recipe that I came up with. I've been working on it for about a month or more, and just this past few days, I finally got the tweaks worked out, and it's really, really good. I know you're going to love it. It's another walnut flour recipe, and it's a cookie that is very similar to a brownie. So I don't think there are very many of us that don't like brownies. I know you're going to like this. Let me run down the ingredient list with you real quickly. Coconut flour, non-Dutch cocoa powder. We have flax meal, xanthan gum, salt, baking powder, compliant sweetener. I've used erythritol and Bocha Sweet. You can use whichever compliant sweetener you like. We have 2 eggs, walnut butter and olive oil, and more chopped walnuts and some very dark Bocha chocolate chips. So let me show you what we're going to do. Like we did before, we're going to make our own. You can buy this already made, your own. You can buy walnut flour already made. I prefer to make my own. I think I can come up with a finer product. And it's so easy to do. If you don't have a food processor, try a blender. Otherwise, I think you will have to buy it because it does need to be a pretty fine flour. Okay, so we're going to start off with 1.5 cups of whole walnuts. We're going to have 1/3 cup of organic coconut flour, and I'm going to just quickly pulse those to make the flour, those 2 ingredients together. Very, very fast. And there we are. We've got a really, really nice flour. It's quite fine, and no sense in buying it when you can make your own, and it's a lot less expensive. Okay, now to that walnut flour mixture, we're going to put in 1/3 cup of unsweetened non-Dutch cocoa powder. We have 1 tablespoon of ground golden flax meal and 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Now, xanthan gum looks like this. This is a Bob's Red Mill product. You know, if you haven't used this before, it's really great when you're cooking products that don't have any gluten. It really helps them bind together better. So if you don't have this and you want to make the recipe, I suggest maybe adding a little extra flax meal until you can get some of this. But this is really handy to add to cookie recipes where you're using nut flours. It helps everything hold together better. I really do like this product. Okay, so after we have that, we've got a teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and as I mentioned, 3/4 cup of compliant sweetener. I have 1/4 cup of erythritol and 1/2 cup of Bocha Sweet. Now, I've played around with the sweetness in this. If you don't like things with much sweetness, you can always reduce this down to 1/2 cup. I don't like it like that, but you might. So just taste the dough, and if it seems too sweet, just work up to it. Is what I'm trying to say. Is start with 1/2 cup and work up. Some people would probably even like this better with a whole cup of sweetener, but that's something that you'll have to experiment with. For me, I like 3/4 cup. Okay, so that's all the dry ingredients. We're going to give that another quick pulse. Okay, that's all mixed together. Then we have two whole pastured eggs. We have 1/4 cup of homemade walnut butter. If you don't have walnut butter, you could use almond butter. I always make my own. As you know, there's a recipe online to do that. And then also to that, we're going to have 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So we'll mix all of that up to get our dough very quickly. And basically what you end up with is a very thick dough that's very similar to brownie. So what I'm going to do now is take this dough out, and I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to mix in 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts and a whole cup of dark Pascha baking chips or chocolate chips. You can use whichever kind you want. These are sweetened with stevia, and they're about 80. I think these are about 80%. They come in all different darknesses, but pick the one that you like the best. And then after we do that, after we get it all mixed together, then what I like to do is put it, if you want to make the cookies right away, put the whole mixture in a bowl in the freezer. It takes about 20 minutes, and then you'll be ready for the next step, which I'll show you here quickly. Okay, we're back with our chilled dough. I mixed in the half a cup of chopped walnuts and the cup of chocolate chips. So, and I actually just popped this in the freezer for about 20 minutes. So we're going to be good to go. Now you can make these in different sizes. I've done it in 1-inch balls or in maybe 1.5 inches. Just depends upon how big of a cookie you want. I kind of like the bigger ones, one and you're done, that sort of thing. If you do make them about 1.5 inches, then what you'll need to do is cook them for about 20 minutes. If you make a 1-inch ball, somewhere in the area of 15 minutes, 13, 15 minutes. You just have to kind of play with your own oven and see. But when I did these the other day with the larger balls, 20 minutes was absolutely perfect. And they're still nice and chewy like a brownie is inside. So let me show you what I do. It's simple. This is about the size ball that I like to make. Just roll up into a ball, roll it into the walnuts, chopped walnuts, and put them out on the cookie sheet. And then as I mentioned, we're going to bake these at 325, and I'll finish rolling these out, and we'll get back to you after we've got these out of the oven. Well, we're back with these delicious triple walnut double chocolate cookies, and it smells absolutely divine in here. This is one of those deals where you really don't mind cooking your own birthday dessert because you know it's going to taste really good. And not only that, it's going to be totally compliant, so you won't be crying about how bad you feel the next day. I want to show you while I'm here, this is a batch that I cooked last night, and I want to cut it and show you how nice and moist these are inside. They're just like a really yummy brownie, but in a bite surrounded with walnuts. I think they're just really a winner. I'm really proud of this recipe. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know how it works out for you and what you think of it. And also, while you're there, let me know if there's anything else that you'd like me to come up with. I'm happy to try just about anything. I know somebody did ask me to come up with a tortilla recipe, and I haven't forgotten that. It's just I'm working on it, so don't think I've forgotten yet. Also, while you're here, please like and subscribe. And the other thing is, thanks for sharing my birthday with you. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye-bye.